Have you ever wondered if it's possible to have gems in your backyard? Well, the answer is yes. It is possible to know if there are precious gems in your backyard or somewhere in your area, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. When we talk about gemstones, the first things that come to mind are rubies and diamonds. But did you know that there are dozens of gemstones that can be just as valuable? Even so, many of them aren't as popular, and it's possible you've never even heard of them. So even if you don't have a personal plot of land to search or don't have a backyard, you can use this knowledge in other places you visit, whether it's your grandparents' farm or even a simple nature walk. Depending on the size of the area, the fact is there could be gemstones there. And that's why today's video is so important, because we're going to talk about how you can tell if there are gemstones in your area just by analyzing the minerals found there. I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I loved looking for rocks with my dad. I had a huge collection of stones of all shapes and colors, though back then I had no idea what they were. But time went by, I started studying and taking some courses, and after a few years I was able to find a yellow diamond the size of a grape, which once certified ended up making me a lot of money, and I suppose you'd like to know how to find gems in your area. To give you an idea, 1 out of every 1,000 people knows the signs of precious gems in a region. What's more, most people who know refuse to share that knowledge. In other words, you're about to gain access to privileged information. That's why I've decided to give you a step-by-step guide to finding your first gem in this video. You may not know it, but most gemstones, such as diamonds, are formed in the bowels of the earth, in the midst of magma, at unimaginable depths, under extremely high pressure and temperature. Over millions of years, however, geological processes such as volcanic eruptions, erosion, and the shifting of tectonic plates bring these stones to the surface. As this lava cools, the flow of water, whether from torrential rains or rivers, along with erosion, plays a crucial role in transporting these gems, carrying thousands of gemstones from their origins to the riverbeds. Many of the stones carried along the rivers tend to have a polished appearance due to the constant friction and hard impact with other rocks in the riverbed. Over time, this natural process results in stones with rounded shapes and smooth surfaces, known as pebbles, which are common among stones found in rivers. So the first thing you should do to find out if an area has gemstones is to look for the indicators, known as satellite minerals, rather than looking directly for the gemstones. For example, if you want to look for diamonds, you will never start by looking for diamonds. Because they are very rare gems, you will fail miserably. And secondly, there may not even be diamonds in your region due to geological factors. So you have to look for more common minerals that have gone through the same formation process as diamonds. This is why these minerals are called satellite or indicator minerals. So the first thing you should do is collect samples of all the types of rocks and minerals you find in your region. Gather everything together and quietly analyze your samples with a magnifying glass and a flashlight. Then compare the minerals you find with the pictures and videos of the rocks I'll show you in this video to identify those minerals. By doing this, you'll be able to tell what kind of rocks might be found in this region. Even if there are no diamonds in your area, there may be rubies, sapphires, or even tourmalines. So let's assume you want to find a ruby in nature. What are the things you should consider before you start looking? First, you need to understand the physical characteristics of these gems in their raw state, like texture and luster. For example, rubies possess luminescence, meaning that if you shine a UV light on a ruby, it will fluoresce. And that's pretty amazing, isn't it? Because of this, it's crucial to identify the characteristics of the gem you want to find. In other words, the logic here is simple. If you want to find topaz, you need to know what type of rock forms under similar conditions. This kind of analysis is called prospecting, and it's the most important part of determining whether a region has the potential for a gemstone fortune. If the samples are very large or heavy, you can take photographs to make your life easier. Now let's begin the second part, which is just as important as the first, which is cleaning the stones, because you will find that some stones are difficult to identify when they are dirty or covered with sand. In some cases, you can use muriatic acid to clean them. This product is easy to find and is usually sold as a cleaning product. But don't worry if you don't have any. A spray bottle of water is more than enough to do the job. After cleaning, the third step is to identify the minerals. But don't worry if you have trouble, as you don't have to identify all the minerals you find. If you're lucky, you might find precious stones right away. But that's not so common. The stones you collect generally fall into 3 categories, and separating them by type will make identification much easier. The first category includes broken stones or fragments, which are often found in dirt areas or ravines. The second category includes what are called rolled stones, which have a rounded shape and natural polish, the result of years of wear and tear by nature, usually in rivers. Even if you didn't find the stone in a river, rounded stones suggest that they were transported by water currents millions of years ago, indicating the presence of ancient river formations in the area. Separate these stones as well, as they may contain valuable minerals. Most of these rolled stones are made of quartz or quartzite, also known as pebbles. Quartz in particular is a very common mineral and comes in many color variations, from milky white to shades of pink, yellow, or even transparent like rock crystal. Quartz can, in some cases, hide gems inside, so it's worth analyzing it carefully. Quartz is also a good benchmark for comparing other stones, as its hardness and appearance are very characteristic. Finally, there are the ores. These can be more difficult to identify as they tend to be very similar, usually dark in color, metallic in appearance, and heavy. Many of these ores have industrial value and are used in a variety of processes, but it's important to separate them out to make them easier to analyze later. Now for the most interesting part, identifying the stones themselves. If you are new to this world and don't recognize many types of stones, no problem. Identification can take some time, and like any learning process, this is perfectly normal. However, if you want to know more quickly and accurately whether there are gemstones in your area, this journey of analysis and research is well worth it. If you want to, you can use the Rock Identifier app available in the Play Store and the Apple Store. It is paid, but you can use the free 3-day trial period. All you have to do is take a high-quality photo of the rock, and the app will help you identify it. Although the app isn't perfect, it does a great job for most rocks and minerals, offering 90% accuracy with quick and confident results in most cases. If the app isn't enough, you can supplement your search with photos and videos on Google. This helps a lot, especially if you want to compare the stone you've found with examples available online. In addition, the internet offers a wide range of information and images that can make identification easier, help you distinguish between similar minerals, and if you like, you can explore other apps to do your research. So between taking good photos, using the app, and looking for more information and examples online, you'll be well prepared to identify most of the stones you come across. Now let's move on to step 4, where I'll talk about some of the minerals most associated with the presence of gemstones. This will help you better recognize the signs that you might be about to find something valuable. But remember, this video is an abbreviated guide. To cover all the details of mineral and gemstone identification would take much more time, maybe even more than an hour. But for now, let's get down to the basics. One of the first minerals to look for is mica. It's easily recognized by its thin, shiny plates that look like plastic. Mica is reflective, often with a slight metallic sheen, and can vary in size. Some are so small that they blend in with the soil and even look like dust, which can confuse some people who sometimes think they've found gold. Depending on its color, mica can be transparent, golden, silver, or even greenish, and each color has a specific name. For a beginner, however, it is important to know that the presence of mica, especially in larger slabs, is a good sign. In particular, golden or greenish mica is an indication that the area may contain diamonds, one of the most sought-after gems in the world. So if you've found mica while exploring an area, it should make you more alert. Another important mineral is malachite, a darker and thicker variety of mica. Its presence also indicates that the environment may be conducive to finding gems. Another set of minerals and rocks to look for are granite and pegmatite. Granite, being a common rock, is easy to identify. It is made up of grains that are visible to the naked eye and has a very granular texture. Pegmatite, on the other hand, is very similar to granite, but the difference is in the size of the grains. While granite has smaller grains, pegmatite can have crystals of considerable size, up to 3 centimeters in diameter. These larger crystals can be an excellent indication that the region is rich in valuable minerals. Pegmatite usually occurs in large rock formations, such as walls. If you notice pegmatites in the area, keep an eye out for them as they often contain valuable minerals. If you find pegmatite, check to see if there is mica nearby. The combination of pegmatite and mica increases the chances of finding gemstones such as tourmaline, topaz, aquamarine, and even morganite. Another important mineral found in these formations is shale. It's easy to identify because it has a scaly texture and crumbles easily in the hands. Shale has a grayish or metallic color, and its fragility is one of its most striking characteristics. If you find shale along with granite, pegmatite, and mica, your chances of being in a gemstone-rich area increase significantly. These three minerals, mica, pegmatite, and schist, form a powerful trio. The presence of all of them in the same region indicates that you are in an environment favorable to the formation of gems, such as tourmalines of various colors, aquamarines, garnets, topazes, and many other precious stones. Always be on the lookout for these signs, as they may be the key to finding rare and valuable minerals. Now we'll talk about the gemstones you can find in rivers, from topazes to diamonds. But as you begin your search, you'll find that quartz is the most common crystal and is easy to find in rivers with a wide variety of colors and shapes. Although many contain inclusions that reduce their commercial value, some types of quartz have gem quality and can be cut into valuable jewelry. The most common types include crystalline quartz, which is often mistaken for glass or diamonds, smoky quartz, which is grayish or brown in color, and amethyst, a highly prized purple quartz. There are also rarer varieties such as blue and green quartz, as well as dendritic quartz with patterns that resemble branches, and hematite with reddish tones. Depending on their clarity and size, these stones can command reasonable prices, such as carnelian agate, which can fetch up to 20 per kilo. Topazes, although less common than quartz, can also be found in riverbeds. These stones are generally transparent, with subtle shades of blue or yellow, and can be mistaken for quartz. The difference lies in their weight and hardness, as topaz is denser and cannot be scratched by quartz. Raw stones can be worth between $20 and $200 per kilo, depending on color and quality, with bluish topazes being particularly valuable for jewelry. Garnets are another gemstone found in rivers, usually red in color. Known as Cape Ruby, garnet is different from true ruby, but is just as heavy and prized for its intense color. They can be rounded due to their crystalline structure, and when cut, high-quality ones can fetch more than $50 per gram. Sapphires and rubies, both derived from the mineral corundum, are among the most precious gems found in rivers. The difference between them lies in their color. Rubies are red, while other colors are classified as sapphires. These stones are extremely hard, second only to diamonds on the Mohs scale, and can reach extremely high values, up to $100,000 per gram, depending on their quality. Diamonds, on the other hand, are the most sought-after gemstones and are rarely found in rivers. Formed in extreme conditions deep within the earth, diamonds are transported by volcanic eruptions and can be carried by currents to riverbeds. Finding a rough diamond is a great feat, but there are signs that help identify them, such as their unparalleled hardness and brilliance. A small, rough diamond can be worth as little as $1,000, while larger, high-quality stones can fetch millions of dollars per carat. To confirm the authenticity of a diamond, it is recommended that you consult a gemologist. Now that you've found your round stones in the river, pay attention to their weight. Stones that are heavier than normal for their size should always be examined more closely. This is because most of the round stones we find in rivers, or in areas where there were rivers, are made of quartz or quartzite, fairly common minerals and generally of low value. However, in the middle of these quartz stones can appear precious gems such as rubies, sapphires, diamonds, garnets, and topazes. And here's an important note. All of these gemstones are significantly heavier than quartz. This means that if you find a stone that seemed denser than expected, it could be a gem hidden among the pebbles. Keep an eye on the density and weight of the stones you find, as this is one of the most important clues for identifying gemstones among more common materials. So, any stone you find that is heavier than normal can indeed be a good indication that there is something valuable there. However, it is important to look for some more specific stones that have a characteristic appearance and can indicate the presence of more valuable minerals. So the secret is simple. If you really want to know whether there are gemstones in your area, you need to go out into the field, collect samples, clean them, and identify the materials you found. And to make this process easier, we can reverse the approach to identification. Here's the fifth step to help you recognize gemstones. Instead of trying to identify every mineral individually, choose a specific gemstone, like tourmaline, and find out which minerals are commonly associated with it. Then, when analyzing the samples you've collected, check whether you've found those indicator minerals. You can do the same for other stones like aquamarine, diamond, emerald, and topaz. This method makes it much easier to determine whether your area has the potential for valuable gemstones. Each stone has unique qualities that couldn't fit into just one video. That's why we're focusing only on the 5 most sought-after gemstones today. If you want to dive deeper into this topic, you can check out our gemology ebook through the first link in the descriptions. The first gemstone on our list is turquoise, one of the most fascinating and recognizable gems in the world. Its color typically ranges from sky blue to bluish green. If you hold one in your hands, you'll notice that its surface feels smooth and pleasant to the touch. The texture is usually even, but may feature small veins or web-like patterns caused by inclusions of iron or manganese oxide, depending on the stone's origin. In terms of hardness, it's relatively low, ranging between 5 and 6 on the Mohs scale. According to experienced geologists, these markings, known as a matrix, can further enhance the gem's beauty and make it unique. Additionally, turquoise has a waxy luster and is relatively opaque, giving it a distinctive appearance among gemstones. If you're searching for turquoise in nature, identifying their presence in an area can be aided by certain minerals. Turquoise typically forms in dry, arid environments and is found in veins and cavities associated with volcanic and sedimentary rocks. Minerals like limonite, iron oxides, and quartz are often found nearby, as well as chrysocolla, which shares a similar formation environment. These minerals can indicate that the soil has the ideal chemical conditions for the formation of this precious gem. Furthermore, the presence of large amounts of copper is essential, as this element gives turquoise its characteristic bluish hues. So if you find copper-rich minerals in your area, such as malachite or azurite, there's a good chance that turquoise may be hidden nearby, nestled among the layers of the terrain. The second gemstone on our list has already been mentioned and couldn't be left out, as rubies are, without a doubt, one of the most important gems in the world, not only for adorning jewelry, but also for their industrial applications. The first thing you'll notice about rubies is their striking pinkish-red color, which can range from a lighter, more vibrant shade to a deep red, depending on the concentration of chromium, the element responsible for the gem's color. If you hold one in your hand, you'll notice that it's a relatively heavy stone. To the touch, the surface of a ruby is smooth and polished, with a vitreous luster that enhances its sophisticated appearance. However, if the ruby has been river-tumbled, it often has a matte finish with an irregular surface. What truly stands out, though, is its incredible toughness. With a hardness of 9 on the Mohs scale, ruby is one of the hardest natural stones, second only to diamond. This durability, combined with its beauty, makes ruby a popular choice for both jewelry and practical applications. In the industry, for instance, rubies are used in lasers, high-precision watches, and abrasive materials such as sandpaper and polishing wheels. So rubies are much more than just a beautiful gemstone. They're also a valuable tool across various sectors. To find rubies in nature, it's important to pay attention to the characteristics of the environment where they typically form. Rubies primarily originate in metamorphic rocks, such as aluminum-rich marbles, and in some igneous rocks. Minerals like spinel, feldspar, and calcite are often found nearby, indicating that the environment may have the right conditions for ruby formation. Additionally, finding chromium-associated minerals like zoisite can be a good sign. By paying close attention to these clues, you might just stumble upon a ruby hidden among the rocks or rivers in your area. But what if you spot all these signs and don't find a ruby? In that case, you might have come across a sapphire instead. After all, the only difference between a ruby and a sapphire is the color. While rubies showcase their red hue thanks to chromium, sapphires can range from deep blue to lighter shades or even unconventional colors like yellow and pink, depending on the trace elements present in the stone. Both rubies and sapphires are varieties of the same mineral, corundum, and they share the same Mohs hardness of 9, which means sapphires are also extremely durable and highly valued for both jewelry and industrial uses. So even if you don't come across the vibrant red of a ruby, finding a sapphire is far from disappointing. In fact, it's an excellent discovery, as sapphires have a market as strong as rubies and can be equally valuable depending on their quality. Therefore, when exploring areas rich in minerals like zoisite, feldspar, and other indicators, remember that the conditions favorable for ruby formation are also conducive to sapphire creation. However, when finding rubies or sapphires in nature, it's very likely that you'll come across low-quality specimens. These gems, when they lack the purity or coloration necessary for use in jewelry, are typically classified as industrial grade and are destined for technical applications. But does that mean you should get discouraged and abandon your search? Not at all. In fact, finding a lower quality gemstone can be a great sign. This holds true for any type of gemstone. If you found a low quality one, it's highly likely that the area has potential for higher quality gems. Think of it as an indicator that you're on the right path. Nature rarely reveals perfect gemstones right away, but with patience and persistence, you may end up discovering a high quality specimen. It's all about continuing to explore and learning to recognize the right signs. The fourth gemstone on our list is the emerald, one of the most sought-after gemstones throughout history. Known for its intense green hue, which can range from a vibrant green to a lighter or slightly yellowish green, the emerald captivates with its unique color, a result of chromium and vanadium. When observing an emerald, it's common to notice small inclusions inside it, known as gardens. Far from being considered flaws, these natural marks are seen as features that make each stone unique and special. To the touch, emeralds have a smooth surface and a vitreous luster that enhances their natural beauty. However, compared to other gemstones like rubies and diamonds, emeralds are relatively fragile, with a hardness of 7.5 to 8 on the Mohs scale. This means that while they are durable, they require some care during cutting or use in jewelry to avoid cracks or damage. If you're searching for emeralds in nature, there are a few clues that can help. They typically form in metamorphic environments or hydrothermal veins, where beryllium-rich rocks like pegmatites and schists are present. Minerals such as quartz, calcite, and phlogopite often appear alongside emeralds, indicating you might be in the right spot. Additionally, the presence of chromium or vanadium in the soil is essential to give emeralds their characteristic color. So if you come across beryllium-associated minerals or notice signs of hydrothermal deposits, it's worth investigating carefully, even if the first stones you find aren't of high quality. Just like with rubies and sapphires, you might also come across the next gemstone on our list: diamonds. And if you're exploring alluvial deposits, your chances increase significantly. That's because diamonds, despite forming at extreme depths, are often brought to the surface by volcanic processes and then transported by rivers and streams, accumulating in areas where the water flow slows down, such as river bends or valley floors. Diamonds have very distinct characteristics, known for their metallic luster that stands out even in their raw form and their incredible hardness. The highest among all natural gemstones, with a perfect 10 on the Mohs scale. Visually, rough diamonds may not appear as impressive as their polished counterparts. They often have a translucent or even opaque appearance and typically exhibit natural geometric shapes, such as the classic octahedron. Additionally, diamonds are dense, with a high specific gravity compared to other minerals. Because of this, they tend to settle at the bottom of gravel beds and in areas where heavier materials accumulate, such as pits or depressions in riverbeds. To find diamonds in nature, it's helpful to know the indicator minerals that might be present. Minerals like garnet, pyroxene, and olivine are important clues, as they often form alongside diamonds under extreme conditions and are usually associated with kimberlite pipes, the volcanic formations that transport these precious stones from the Earth's depths to the surface. When these minerals appear in alluvial deposits, it's a strong indication that you might be in a location with diamond potential. Even if the first diamond you find is small or industrial grade, that's no reason to lose motivation. As with other gemstones, finding even an imperfect specimen is a sign that the area has potential for more valuable gems. It's also possible that you may encounter garnets or distillates in the region. While these gems are not as valuable as diamonds, they still hold their worth, especially when they display vivid colors and unique characteristics. But let's say that after following all these steps, you want to know exactly what kind of stone you found and how much it's worth. In that case, you have three options. First, you can find a prospector or jeweler in your area. Second, you can consult a gemologist who can provide a more precise identification. Third, if you don't have access to these professionals or want to avoid being scammed by someone trying to buy your gemstones for less than their actual value, you can check out our ebook, Gemology Journey for Beginners. This digital book teaches you how to identify your gemstones without expensive equipment. You'll also get access to an exclusive collector's chart listing every known gemstone in the world, plus a practical guide for identifying real diamonds using simple at-home tests. Normally, this material costs $20, but the first 10 subscribers who click the first link in the description will get a 50% discount, allowing them to get everything for just $10. And of course, don't expect every stone you find to be incredibly valuable. But never think it's impossible to find a precious gem. After all, you never know when your lucky day might come. Statistically speaking, finding a gemstone is easier than winning the lottery. So make this a fun and relaxing hobby. Enjoy walking, exploring nature, and who knows, you might even find a rare diamond worth millions of dollars. In some countries, there are even public areas where you can search for diamonds for free. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Good luck, Gem Hunter.